Hi everyone, I'm Victoria and I'm back again with another drum major video. So last week we made our maces and this week we're going to talk a wee bit about marching. So as a drum major, marching is really important. It doesn't matter if you're only doing street parades or if you're competing as a drum major. It's really important that you do it and you do it well. It's so important in fact that in competitions, good marching deportment could determine whether you get a prize or not, or if you win a world title or not. So just to give you an example, in marching deportment works very similarly to ensemble preference in pipe band competing. So say drum major 1 got second in marching deportment and second in flourishing, so that adds up to 4 points, which is quite a good score. And then drum major 2 say got first in marching deportment and third in flourishing, they would also get 4 points. However, because they were higher in marching deportment than drum major 1, then they would win the prize. And that's how it works in every competition that you would compete in. So marching deportment is really important, and I may have said in the previous video as well, drum majors are usually the first person that people will see when the band's approaching them. So you're essentially representing the bands behind you, so you want to do it and you want to do it well. So we're going to talk a wee bit through the marching process, and also if you just want to know a wee bit more about competing as a drum major as well, I'll comment below and I'll tell you a wee bit about it in the coming weeks. So marching then, your mace needs to be in your left hand. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're with your right hand or your left hand, you need to hold your mace in your left hand. Okay, you want to hold it where it's comfortable for you, so you want to have it at a comfortable angle. You don't want to have it too angled, because what will happen is you'll go to swing your arm and you'll hit your arm off your mace. So last week we also worked a wee bit in our posture, so remember what we talked about. So nice straight back, shoulders back, head up, and we're going to put our hand in a nice tight fist and thumb over, and our arm nice and straight. Nice straight back, shoulders back, head up. We need to have this arm nice and straight, not wiggling about, and a nice tight fist with your thumb over. So you want to be standing like this before you start. So what you're going to do then is, just before you even move your feet, is just move your arm up and back and up. Okay, and what you want to achieve there is you want your fist no higher than your shoulder. Okay, so keep your shoulders level and make sure that your arm is going straight up to your shoulder and going straight back again. Now make sure it's not going in or going out whenever you're bringing it back as well. So straight up and straight back, and it's quite useful to practice this in front of a mirror or maybe a door or whatever, to be able to see what you're doing wrong. Sometimes people don't believe that their arm's going a wee bit higher, their arm's going back bent, until they see a video of themselves or see their reflection. So if you're practicing, what you can do as well is record yourself like I'm doing now and look back and see what you're doing wrong, or if you want, feel free to send your videos into the We Love Pipe Bands page on Facebook and I'll take a look at it and we'll work on what we need to fix and improve, and hopefully we can learn a few things from this. So what we need to remember then: back straight, shoulders back, head up, mace nice and comfortable, not too angled. It's sort of, a lot of it's preference where you hold the mace, but I quite like it quite far up, and so the head of the mace and my head are quite close. So before we even swing our mace then, when we're marching, we need to get this arm right, because it just makes everything a lot easier when you go to start marching. So working your arm then, you want it up nice and straight and back nice and straight. So what we're going to do then is we're going to move our feet. So when we're marching then, it doesn't matter if we're a drum major or if we're in the pipe band, we always start on our left foot. It doesn't matter what the pipe major says, we always start on our left. It can be a wee bit confusing for people starting off, because the pipe major is shouting by the right quick march, and people maybe just think that's starting off on your right foot. and you wouldn't be blamed for thinking that. But the reason that he or she says by the right quick march is because that's where the command's coming from. So the pipe major, as you probably know, is situated on the right hand side of the band. So they would say by the right quick march because that's where the command's coming from. Now if you are drum majoring, you'd be out in the front, or you'd be at the centre of the band at the front. So you could say by the front quick march or by the right quick march. But it doesn't matter who's shouting the commands or what to say, you always start off on your left foot. So what we need to do then is get our hands, our head and our feet all working, which is quite difficult. It's easier said than done at least. So nice and straight, and what we're going to do is we're going to put our left foot forward and our right arm up. Okay, so just go back again and repeat that then. So our left foot forward, right arm up. Okay, and now we're going to take our right foot forward, and as we put our right foot forward, we're going to move our arm back. Okay, so much like you'd be doing walking down the street without a mace, you'd be swinging the arm opposite to the foot that is forward. So left foot forward, right arm up, right foot forward, right arm back. Now you need to be comfortable in doing that and not have to think about it, and get your arm nice and straight up, nice and tight there, and in a nice tight fist, and nice and straight up to your shoulder, not too high, not too low. And also try to avoid your arm coming out. Okay, it needs to come straight up. Okay, if you're having to put it out, it might have something to do with the angle of your mace, because you don't want to keep hitting your hand. So figure it out, have it in a nice angle, and work on that up and back. Okay, now we're not putting it all the way back, just back a wee bit. Okay, so up and back. Okay, so once you've got that, then we're going to work on our swinging our mace while we're marching. Now when I say swinging, I don't mean like that. So it's up and down, it's like a bicep curl movement. So what all you have to do is straighten your elbow. So it goes up to your chest, down to your thigh. See, all I'm doing is just straightening my elbow. So up and down, up and down. And you want that a nice flowing movement. You don't want it too robotic. So you don't want up, down, up, down. Now you want your movements to be sharp, but you also want them to be flowing. To look like you're a good drum major, you need to look like you know what you're doing, and as if everything you're doing is easy. Now you might not know what you're doing, and it definitely isn't easy, but if you can make it look that way, then you've succeeded. And it doesn't matter what anybody else tells you. So feet together, back straight, shoulders back, head up, arm by our side. So we're going to do what we just did, only this time we're going to put our mace down. So left foot forward, right arm up, mace down. Okay, so it makes sense that when your mace is down, your arm should be up, because if you're putting your mace up and your arm up at the same time, your arms are going to head off the mace. Okay, so just to recap then, 2 feet together, left foot forward, mace down, arm up. Now we're going to take a right step and we're going to put our mace up and our arm back, like so. And you just repeat that movement over and over again, and you can march. So like I said earlier, if you want to film yourself marching, or maybe you already drum major and you want to show off your skills, feel free to message the We Love Pipe Bands page on Facebook, and I'll take a wee look and try and reply to you. So hopefully that's cleared a few things up for you. So today we've learnt about our marching and how that affects us in the drum majoring world. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week.